Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be reviewing the Lexus IS 500. Before we get into this video though, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Lexus here in Murray, Utah for giving me some time with this car. This particular one is still available for the time being, so if you're interested, I'll include a link to their website in the description down below so you can reach out to them. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money, the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below as well. Let's get into it. Under the hood of the IS 500, we have a naturally aspirated 5-liter V8 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy 17 around town and then 25 on the highway, with power outputs being 472 horsepower and then 395 pound-feet of torque, which gives us a 0 to 60 time of 4.4 seconds. Now, before we go over the front end, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. Now, taking a look at the hood, it looks so aggressive here on the IS 500. Notice how it's like raised there in the center and then kind of falls off. It's a really cool design. Now, popping down to the lights, look at the daytime running lights. Those look fantastic. And then you guys can see with the LED headlamps. And then notice how the trim's blacked out off to the side. And then look at the grille here, also all blacked out with some parking sensors integrated. And they also got the Lexus logo in the center. And putting it all together, I already think that just the IS in general looks great, but this IS 500 takes it to the next level. Now, coming around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 235, 40, 19 in the front, and then 265, 35, 19 in the rear, so slightly staggered setup. And then look at the wheel design here, all blacked out, including the brake caliper, which really just contrasts perfectly with the red paint on this car. Of course, we got our F Sport badge there, and then look at the mirrors. These are actually the same exact mirrors as what you have on the LC 500. And then you guys can see here with the door handles, and then look at that line. And if we take a few steps back, you guys can see the full side profile of this car, and again, just beautiful from a design perspective. Now, taking a look at the key fob itself, you guys can see we got our unlock function or lock function. This is the opening for the trunk, and then you got the Lexus logo there, and well, boop. Now, since this is an IS, it's actually really practical. Now, the IS is obviously not Lexus's largest sedan. That would be the LS, but it's still very practical when it comes to storage space here in the back. Now, taking a look at the rear, I love the taillight design and how it's like a light bar there. I think it looks really cool. And then look at the spoiler here at the top, just blacked out, low profile. It's clean with the design. And then, of course, IS 500 there. And then look at the exhaust tips. Pretty aggressive here with the whole diffuser. Wrapping things up, let me know what you guys think about the design here on the IS 500, but I think this is just a beautiful car overall. Now, taking a look at the door panel here, you guys can see we've got really nice leather trim here, and then down below, and yes, you can see two-tone with the coloration. And then look at the seats, really nice perforated leather all down the center, and then you got some black here on the outside to go with that two-tone theme. Now, the seat is pushed back a little bit because of the memory function, so that would be a little bit more accurate in terms of space back here. Got some vents here in the back. Of course, we also have our cup holder armrest situation as well. And then headroom back here is decent. I am almost touching the top though. Now, taking a look at the front door panel, you guys can see again with all of the leather trim, and look at the black stitching. That's really cool. All of our window controls here, and then you can see here with our mirror adjustments, and then memory seat functionality right there. And then we also have blind spot monitoring with the mirrors. And then the front seats again continue the design with the perforated leather. Notice the black perforated leather there on either side. That's also really cool. And then you do have your power adjustments. And then look at how fancy the pedals look. That's really nice. And then you guys can see here for like the camera function. And then notice with the steering wheel, it is power adjustable. Starting with the steering wheel, we've got really nice leather trim here at the top and at the bottom. Notice the F Sport logo. Perforated leather here on the side so you can get a slightly better grip. Paddle shifters there on the back for the 8-speed automatic transmission. It also comes with normal stuff like cruise control. You've got your lane keep assist. And then notice we got like our phone controls, voice command controls as well. And then your regular stocks here in the back. But there's a steering wheel. Now, taking a look at the center here, my favorite part is it moves to the side when you press the little pages button so you can scroll through, see different bits of info on the car. I think that part of it is really cool. And then you also have cool animations with the different drive modes. So eco mode doesn't look too crazy, and then normal mode, again, nothing too crazy, but the sport mode and then the sport plus mode, that's where things get really aggressive. And then this does have a 360 camera system, so you can see we've got the backup camera with trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel, and then you got that bird's eye view as well. Now, taking a look at the infotainment system, first off, it is a touchscreen if you want to use touchscreen functionality, and it responds very well. The Lexus also provides a keypad if you want to use that, so you basically just use whichever one you prefer. I will say I do like this padding here on the dash, and then you guys can see the stitching that goes across right there. And then we've got our dual zone climate controls, and notice how it's got the cool like sliders here. So you just kind of slide your finger on it. I don't know, I think that that's kind of fun. And then we do have our controls for the heated and ventilated seats for both the driver and the passenger, and then also heated steering wheel. It's behind the shifter though. Speaking of shifter, here's the shifter for the 8-speed automatic. You've got your drive mode select. It also has a snow mode. You've got stability control, your auto hold, and then here's a little keypad setup. And then you can see here with the cup holders and center console, which notice got some USBs. I do like this trim here on the top, very fancy. And then you got the glove box, which it's actually very spacious. This is random, but I really like the look of this mirror. It just has a nice appearance to it. But anyways, we've got our controls here for the sunroof, and you can see it just has a regular sunroof, and then black headliner. So here's our window sticker for the IS 500. You guys can see this one is a premium package, and here's all the standard equipment. Base MSRP, you can see that you've got the BBS forged wheels. That's the only option added to this particular one. But notice the total MSRP on this one is $66,215. This is an absolute bargain, absolute bargain. I mean, BMW M3, Audi RS5, like those cars at this point are now like close to $100,000 or over $100,000 with certain packages. So like, let's see how this drives and kind of talk about that. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility over the hood, both the mirrors, you do a blind spot monitoring, and throughout the rest of the rear. And, well, it went from snowing every single day to now apparently it's raining all the time here in Utah. So I don't know what's happening. We're supposed to be in a desert, but let's focus on this really cool car that we have here, IS 500. So I have never done a full review on one of these. These are extremely hard to get, and I think it completely makes sense, right? Because like, this car, I mean, when you compare it to everything else in this segment, this car is just such a bargain for what it provides. First off, just like other Lexuses, really good ride quality, but unlike a lot of other modern Lexuses, still has a V8, and so man, does it have like a monstrous sound coming from under the hood. I mean, it's quite substantial. Now, this doesn't have the cool exhaust sound you get with the LC 500. I don't know why Lexus gives that such a cool sounding exhaust, and they kind of tone things down for the IS and then the RCF, but it still sounds really good. I mean, you can't go wrong with a 5-liter V8, that is for sure. Aside from that, seat comfort's amazing. Just like driving this is a fantastic luxury car, and that's one thing that I do like about this compared to the RS5 and the M3. Those two cars can do like luxury car stuff, and I guess you guys might want me to also maybe talk about like RS4 as well, but we don't really have that in the US, so that's why I'm saying RS5. But anyways, the point that I'm trying to make is those cars, like, you can tell they've been tuned more like all in on the sports side, whereas this still has some luxury car parts to it, which I personally really appreciate. It makes the driving experience much better. Even though it's raining, we'll pop into the Sport Plus setting here, and we'll also get to see how it does over the train tracks here. Yeah, this suspension is so good. Okay, we'll get on it a little bit here. No drama. I mean, I didn't like go full into it, but no drama. I mean, it just puts down the power, and that's what I've noticed also with the, because I've done quite a few reviews on the LC 500, and then I also had an RCF for a week. They definitely all kind of have that characteristic where they all put down the power really well. And I'll get another little acceleration up here in a moment, but let's kind of start to sum things up. So first off, when it comes to aesthetics, I think this car is beautiful on the outside. I think it's got a really nice interior as well, again, especially considering the price point that this is at for everything you're getting. And then when it comes to the driving dynamics, it is more tuned towards the luxury side, but it still has a sporty elements to it. It still handles pretty well. And I mean, it's got a 5-liter V8. Again, we'll get a better acceleration in a moment, but like, listen to this thing. It's such a cool engine. It just has like such a cool sound. And again, that's just very, very partial throttle. Okay, so we can fully sum things up. So here's kind of like a little bit of handling. There was a bit of construction over there, so I couldn't go my normal route. So good for you guys, because then I gotta, I guess, accidentally drive the car longer than I expected to. I will say the transmission in this, you can definitely tell they've tuned this more towards the comfort side of things. That's very apparent with the gear shifts and everything. They're definitely, like, again, it's all about smoothing everything out, and I feel like that's a really good kind of a way to fully describe this car. I feel like this car, compared to, again, stuff like the M3, this is all about smooth, right? With the ride, with the powertrain, and here, we'll get an acceleration here. What a monstrous powertrain. It's smooth though, it's a very smooth V8. So yeah, I think the IS500 super underrated. Like, I've seen some reviews on this car, and everyone seems to like say stuff like, oh, it's not as fast and this and that, and it's like, this thing's fast for what this is. It's fast. You get tons of performance for the money, and it's super comfortable. It looks great. I guess, like, the only thing is, I wish that Lexus would make an all-wheel drive version of one of these, because then I could justify having one here in Utah. But let me know what you guys think about the IS500.